Okay, so I've had to kind of convince my co-producers with each and every case, and I've been kind of going for the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, so I'm pushing the envelope for me.
Yeah.
With this film, because we've got the Socorro case, we've got the Rua case, unbelievable case, and then we've got the Varginha case. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was invited by a guy named AJ Javard.
No AJ.
He invites me to do a speaking engagement in South America in a place called, I'll think of it in a second, but it's really,
And they're fascinated with UFO cases down there.
Yes, absolutely. We flew into Sao Paulo, and then I took it was like a 3-hour drive south. And the name will come to me, and I'll tell you what. But in any case, so I'm about to go on this trip, and I talked to a friend of mine, Jeff Sagansky, who's former head of TriStar Pictures, and he's always been a really
He's into this.
He's totally into it, and he's helped me distribute my films. People have often asked, how have you done it, independent productions, and not had one frame changed for History Channel, for the Sci-Fi Channel, for Discovery Channel? And I said, well, I've been really lucky, but I've also had this guy, Jeff Sagansky, who's really high up on the food chain in the entertainment industry, and he's been a real big fan of mine. And he's been very influential in getting these execs to put my stuff on television untouched. So I've been very fortunate. Thank you, Jeff, if you're listening. But Jeff said, you really need to look into this Varginha UFO incident.
He brought that up?
He did. And I said, I heard a little bit about that. Tell me some more about that case, Jeff. Jeff's a very level-headed, very bright man.
Yep.
Harvard grad, business school, very successful, former head of TriStar Pictures.
But you wouldn't think.
You wouldn't think.
He'd be into this.
And he said, well, it's that case where you had a crash of a UFO, and then you had the occupants wandering around in town in broad daylight. And I said,
come on,
Jeff, this is really far-fetched. He goes,
right.
no, I'm telling you, I really think there's something to this case. I said, Jeff, really, don't waste my time. And he said, please look into it while you're there. I just really want to know. So I said, all right.
As a favor to him,
As a favor to you, I'll look into it, but Jesus, this is going to be utter wasted time. Clearly, there wasn't a UFO crash and live aliens wandering through this town of Varginha.
Looking for the local bar, right?
I was convinced. I thought the whole thing was just way out. No way. Well, I went to South America, and I met with some of the witnesses, and I met with people who knew some of the witnesses, and I must say, I came back from that initial report going, maybe this really did happen. I was really, and actually, my girlfriend at the time, and who's now my fiance,
Congratulations,
thank you,
by the way.
Rebecca, she's not really into the UFO phenomenon at all, but she was very, very, and I knew if she was very, very interested, she thought, wow, maybe this really did happen. Then I went back a second time with National Geographic, and we got access to some of the primary witnesses, the first-hand witnesses that saw the creatures, and looking into these women's eyes, and going to the location where it happened, and seeing their reaction, and seeing their reluctance to come forward and talk about it, and hearing their mother say that the Air Force came to the house, or the military came to the house and told them not to talk about it. And not only that, but offered them a large sum of money to recant their story.
They did.
Yes, they did. They never said E.T. These girls thought they saw the devil. They didn't know.
They didn't know what they were.
They didn't see a craft crash and the aliens get out. Sorry, there was evidence surrounding the area, surrounding the case. If you listen to any one particular testimony, you might think, kind of patchy, but when you put it all together, a UFO crashed, and there were occupants that survived. And those occupants walked through the town and got captured.
Where are they now?
Well, apparently, I went to one of the hospitals where they were taken, and then and there was also another one, Officer Sharizi, he was a military police officer, Marco Chirizi, I think his name was. And he apparently handled one of these creatures. Now, he didn't know E.T. His orders were something got loose or something's
like
out
an
there,
animal,
something
whatever.
Really strange. If you see it, capture it, bring it back to, And he did capture it with his bare hands, and he got an infection and died.
Really?
So we're in touch with his sister. We're in touch with other family members and friends of his family. We're in touch with the primary witnesses that saw the creature.
What did these creatures look like?
Spindly arms and legs, big head,
lizardy,
oily skin like that of they said like an organ, like a liver or a kidney, that kind of oily and that kind of material.
So a different kind of race.
No hair, very large eyes, slits for mouths.
Well, maybe the Greys type, right?
Yeah, but oily skin and big red eyes and ridges on the forehead. And I don't know why.
Oh, and that's why they thought they were the devil.
That's why they thought they were the devil. And I don't know what.
Sounds like a reptilian.
They were feeble. They were non-threatening. they were barely keeping it together. I mean, apparently they were kind of slouched over. They did get eye contact with these girls.
Okay.
And there were and when the girls were running, they told me this from their mouths to my ears. When they were running away screaming, there were some construction workers on a building, and the construction workers yelled out, "They must have seen the same creatures we just saw." Yeah. So there were a lot of people in the town, and then I went to the town center. You know, like the town center, the little area where
Yeah.
everyone goes, has coffee, hangs out, plays cards, dominoes, whatever they're doing.
People remember this?
It was 1996. So I went around and I just started asking random people, and just about everyone in that town had a friend or a neighbor or a cousin or somebody that was involved with the case.
So where are the bodies to these beings?
Well, I understand that one of them was kept in Brazil, and from what I understand and what I've been told, and I don't have 100% confirmation, the Americans got one too.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Any of
And this was a crashed craft that they
crashed
came?
craft,
So
yes.
where's that?
We're going to interview.
Somebody's got that.
Well, I haven't been to the crash. I haven't been to the exact crash site, but I'm going, and I don't know when this is going to be broadcast, but I'm going in the end of November 2013, early December, and I'm going to be going to the town with a very low-profile camera crew. We're going to go meet with the farmers who saw this thing crash or saw it wobbly and looking in distress and going
then saw
down.
the occupants.
And then we're meeting with people, the occupants. We're meeting with members of the military officer who died after handling one of these creatures, and who knows what else. But I'm
How
trying.
soon did he die?
A couple
Pretty
of
quickly?
weeks. Yeah, he got some. He had
Just like that.
immune deficiency breakdown. He had this oily stuff all over his skin. He kept putting rubbing alcohol on his skin, saying,
Wow.
"I got this stuff all over me," and yeah, he died.
And that's documented.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything.
Oh, we have the death certificate. Oh, yeah, yeah.
And how he died? Some kind
He
of...
died of immune deficiency. Basically, his immune system shut down.
Huh.
Yeah.
This
And
is a bizarre story.
it's a very bizarre story, and the military surrounded the entire town because these creatures were on the loose. So everyone was there, saw that.
What would possess the creatures to go wandering into the town? What were
Your
they
guess-
looking for?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I don't know. What would you do if you crashed on a planet somewhere far, far away?
I don't know what I'd do.
I don't know what I'd do either.
I'm not sure I'd walk into the city.
Yeah.
Hi, folks.
Well, they're hiding in an adjacent field. But I don't know. They were feeble. They were easy to capture.
Yeah.
The girls said they were non-threatening. That one of them was kind of slumped over and looked him right in the eyes. One of the women. These women were traumatized by this whole thing. And like I said, they never said ET. But when you put the piece of the puzzle together, you see that a crash happened and that the bodies.